Hey everyone, update on the 1976 Jeep J10. I'm going to get right to it. So, this update is going to be discussing my future plans for this thing. My future plans for it were to get a decent lift, nice mud terrain tires, the brush guard, build the roll bar, make it look like a 70s sporty off-roading type of, truck. I loved the way those trucks looked when they had that sporty look, you know what I mean? It's really cool, and that was my original plan for this. Think Twister Jeep. Think Back to the Future. I think it was a Toyota Hilux. That type of look. You know what I mean? Maybe not that much of a lift, but something similar. So basically, what my Grand Wagoneer is right now, I'm going to be turning this into. But it looks better on a truck than it does the Wagoneer, in my opinion. So let's fast forward. I need to do a lot of wiring, a lot of electrical. There's a car show coming up on the 27th of this month, which is like in 4 days, I think, 3 or 4 days. I need to get this done before then. And I hope to God I don't break down, because I am so tired of this truck breaking down for fuel-related issues. Anyway, I want to get the wiring done. I don't have the fog lights and the off-roading lights that I wanted to buy. I just don't have the money for it because of the horse and the dog issue. But I do have these, and I'm going to use them. So I have these two fog lights from the 98 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Cut those brackets off, build some new brackets, and install them on these clamps that I have, which go onto roll bars and roof racks and stuff, and you mount lights on top of them. The next light I need to install is the underhood light. This is from a Grand Wagoneer I got years and years and years ago. My J10 does not have an underhood light, which is kind of shitty, actually. I need to install these license plate lights. These I ripped out. I fixed them. I just need to get new bulbs, and I need to install them back in there because I just want all my lights working. So the floodlights on the roll bar are going to be these. These are from the 98 Grand Cherokee ARB bumper that I got from the junkyard. I took these off of the bumper. They're really old, you can tell. Faded, plastic. You know what I mean? But I saved them because you never know if you're going to use something. You know what I mean? Don't throw your crap away. Trust me. Judging by these, I can tell they're probably 100 watts, which they are. So I have one apart right here. Glass lens. The rubber seal is still pretty good. Excuse me. And a metal housing for the bulb, which is good because it's an H3 100 watt bulb, and that gets hot as crap. So this needs to be sanded down, rust reformer put on, and the rust reformer I use is also a primer. There's some rust reformers which are just like a clear spray. The rust reformer from Rust-Oleum is a black primer as well. So anyway, that's gonna be spray painted, and then I'm gonna spray paint a shiny kind of a chrome look. They have that in spray paint cans. You can get pretty close to a reflector with that kind of paint. So I'm going to put that back in there, I'm going to spray paint that to make it shiny again. Put it all back together. And as far as the housing itself goes, I'm going to put a plastic primer paint on the back and the front. That way normal paint will stick to it. And then I'm going to paint the back black. And the front cage up here is going to be the cobalt blue for my brush guard and my roll bar and so forth. And I plan to paint the blue on the Jeep that color as well. As far as wiring and stuff goes, I have plenty of wiring. Tons of 16 gauge right here, black and red. I have, 13 feet of 10 gauge, which is perfect. I have relays. Relay holders left over. I have inline fuses. I have plenty of everything. I have all the connectors, so that's good. I've had this stuff for years now. This is like the leftover stuff from my Grand Wagoneer. So to wire that in, you run the 10 gauge wire from the battery, obviously, to the relay, and then a relay trigger wire. So this wire goes into your dash, into your switch, and all that does is just trigger the relay to turn on. And then you follow the 10 gauge wire down here through the wheel well, through the firewall, runs up the pillar into the headliner, and it does have a good headliner in here. I need to be careful removing it though. But into the headliner, and 16 gauge wire split once over here to one light, 16 gauge wire split to that light, and 16 gauge is plenty of wire for a 2-3 foot run for 8 amps. 100-watt halogen is like 8.5 amps. That's plenty for 16 gauge. The main one you got to focus on is the 10 gauge wire. That is the main supply line. You can split from the supply wire at a short run, you know what I mean? But the main wire has to be the correct gauge thickness for whatever amperage you're running through it. So 10 gauge could easily handle, I think, around 36 amps at that like 8-9 foot run this is going to be. So I could install 2 more on there so I can have 4, but for now I just got the 2, you know what I mean? So the fog lights, I showed you how they're going to be mounted with those little brackets, but again, another relay, another trigger wire to another switch, and I'm just going to run 16 gauge because it's just a 55 watt floodlight. So 16 gauge from one, 16 gauge from another. It's a really short run. It doesn't need to be any thicker than that. So that's my plans. The bumper, the rear bumper license plate light, I need to fix put the light inside of the hood. The fog lights, the off-roading lights. The other one I haven't told you about is this one. This is the cargo light for the bed. So this is a factory one. I need to clean that up. I think I'm going to paint the housing either black or cobalt blue. Not sure. It's definitely not going to be chrome then, though. The interior dome light, that needs to be fixed. This is where the factory light would go on the back of the cabin, but that is not a factory light hole. Somebody drilled a hole there and they just like did a redneck stick the light on the back for the bed right here. But obviously I'm going to use that hole for the factory one. The factory one screws into the body, so I'm going to drill pilot holes and screw them into the body like they did factory. So well, maybe. We'll see. But anyway, I need to put the factory one on there. I'm going to drill a hole on the bottom of this housing right here. So these 16 gauge wires are going to go through this actual housing, out the bottom of the light, put a little dab of silicone on there. And then they'll go to each light on the roll bar. So that way I don't have to drill any more holes in the roof or cabin and stuff. So I'll just use the existing one that's there. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll let you guys go. Stay tuned for the next video. The next video is going to be an actual edited video. It's going to be me doing the wiring step by step. So hopefully that'll help somebody in the future. It's really, really easy to do, guys. But I need to get this done, and I need to get this done before that car show. Now, I don't plan on winning any awards because clearly it needs to be repainted. Clearly it's still got rust on the bedsides and stuff. It's not a perfect truck, you know what I mean? But it's a cool truck, and it's my truck, and not many people have them, and you never see them on the road. So I'm going to that car show. But until then, I want to put these lights on just to make it look a little bit better. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned.